Travis Wayne Gitzel. Now that that video is out of the way, let's get to the comment replies for the Christmas 2023. I will record this and go running and then come back and put it up and have breakfast, bathe and shave, the usual. Just no sleep. So 6 hours ago, on the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints who stole Christmas. Wonder where I got that title from. Keith Birch says, Joseph Smith goes down in my history as a failed treasure hunter, just so you know. Merry Christmas. It was freaking amazing as always. Just because you're a critic doesn't mean you're going to get my favor. You have to separate Joseph Smith from this church. This church claims to be from Joseph Smith, so they have to lie to claim to be from Joseph Smith. You guys should know this. You guys are critics. You were Mormon. You left the church. Whether it was because you got excommunicated for being a naughty, or because you, like me, said, this ain't true, I'm out. But I, ever since I was a kid, studied Mormonism. I studied my scriptures. I wanted to learn the languages of Greek, Hebrew, and Egyptian. And the opportunities came and I took them. And I learned them. And then I learned the truth because I produced the results of my study. I didn't get a spiritual feeling that the church wasn't true. You should have known that is not the right way to do it, ex-Mormons, former Mormons. Because that's what Mormons do to say it is true. And so, I already know that Joseph Smith was a criminal treasure hunter. Not a failed treasure hunter per se, but yeah, I never found any treasure with his little toy that his father taught him. Yeah, he's a kid when he got arrested. Did you know that? Did you know he was a kid when he got arrested? See, the United States had to come up with labor laws to keep children from working, and now in the latter days here we're seeing that kids have to work if they want to get ahead in life. And so you got these little 12-year-olds babysitting and doing paper routes and lemonade stands, and we don't stop to think, wait a minute, that's child labor. We should redesign our economy so that children don't have to do this. But regardless. And so no, Joseph Smith Sr. was a failed farmer. Why don't you go after him for being a failed farmer? I mean, it literally is a useless argument to claim that Joseph Smith was a failed treasure hunter. He had to make another living, and it wasn't from the sales of the Book of Mormon. It did not make him rich. They had to do group labor to provide for their living. It wasn't Joseph Smith getting all the money from the Mormons like Brigham Young did to pay for his mansions. So the Joseph Smith mansion in Nauvoo was used for the temple and also for the Mason meetings until they can get a different building. And so it wasn't just for Brigham's house. It was the church's property, per se, that members participated with. And so knowing the real church history is kind of important for critics. I saw the Mormon hoe, as she calls herself, who is still perpetuating the lie that Joseph Smith was a polygamist. She has never once studied any of it to learn that she's been lied to by the church on this matter. And she's very popular. She's got tens of thousands of views because it's a better presentation than me. But I would rather be right than have a better presentation. I can't get through to critics, just like I can't get through to Mormons. It's for the exact same reason. Spiritual witness feelings. Also on the Church of Jesus Christ Who Stole Christmas, Steve says, "You are not the only person who knows loneliness. I'm so lonely." Can't sing. And rejection. It's been a part of my life since I can remember. Cheer up, Travis. Bleep you. There are many people who don't have what we have. That's not an excuse to use. Doesn't matter if it's not a competition as to whether I'm more prosperous than other people in the world. I am more prosperous only because I'm in the United States of America, but I am extremely poor on the economic scale in America. That's how you determine prosperity. And so if I were to be in this percentile in a third world country, yeah, I'm really hurting. And so it's the wrong argument to make that there are people worse off than I am. People need to stop using that excuse. And also on the same video, Steve says, "Free to choose, but bound by choice." James, on the Stole Christmas video, he says, "I was just wondering which is your favorite Die Hard." Well, the first one, obviously. But the Live Free Die Hard, yeah. The fire sale. And it has absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with the fully grown-up Lucy McClane. Not a single thing to do with it. I have not heard about the McClane movie. I do have the Die Hard commercial that was made a movie. But there's going to be no movie, from what I understand. It was that little clip, and that was it. And since Bruce Willis is out of the picture permanently now because of the brain problem he has, he's not coming back to do movies. And so if a new Die Hard is coming out, it's going to be a reboot. And I don't think that would be a good idea. Die Hard is not a rebootable type of movie because of the classic that the original is. And James again on the same video. Jasmine and I are watching you all day today. Oh, man. How did you get the cameras in here? She wanted me to tell you that you have friends here. Really? What are their names? She started crying. Oh, when you did. Yeah. I can't talk about James Bond. She really had a lot of respect for you and loves watching and learning alongside when she went what she studies. I didn't mean for you to have to delete Mark's comment. It did need to be deleted. In and of itself, it did not have context. So that you're fine. People really aren't entitled to believe whatever they want, because once they turn their beliefs into action, that's when we know them. And we're witnessing the collapse of the United States of America and the First Amendment. That was the first target that they went after, was to destroy everything in the First Amendment. And even the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints assisted with that destruction. And so people who make hate comments, who threaten people, and who deny real truth of history and of science, those are the people who are threatening others to be silent and to accept the falsehoods and the denials that they are enforcing with their attacks. And that is contrary to the First Amendment, because once you take away somebody else's right to that same right, your rights are not there. You aren't using your freedom of speech rights. You aren't using your freedom of religion rights. You aren't using your right to petition for redress of grievances. You aren't using your right to peaceably assemble. You aren't using your right to a free press. But the enemy is too threatening, I guess, to allow for people to take a stand against it. And it's overcome America now. The video you did on that was much appreciated, and thank you. So you did finally get to it. Good. I just wanted to say Merry, not happy, Xmas. And it's interesting because Xmas is appropriate. Christians believe in the cross. They wear a cross on their necks as jewelry. They have a cross on their wall. And yet, if you say Merry Xmas, they attack you. You're canceling out Jesus. Wait a minute. Mass already means dismissal. You've already canceled him out by saying Merry Dismissal of Christ. And so on the Stole Christmas, Mark says Roger Moore was a good 007. Yeah. I watched an interview with him in which he admits that his role was intended to be more comedic, more lighthearted. And that gave rise to the Spy Who Shagged Me movies. I'm drawing a blank on their name. I think he came out with a trilogy, but and other spoofs of that Roger Moore version. But yeah, they're all good in their independent right, but same video again. Stole Christmas. One Fishing Human says, Merry Christmas. Thanks for putting so much passion into your videos. We appreciate you. I really don't care for appreciation. It's a psychological manipulation. But thanks. Jasmine has a long one here. And then Mark's that I hadn't gotten to. Stole Christmas. Hey Travis, I hope you have a happy Xmas. Like James, like Jasmine. If we were near, we would have brought you a gift or two. Your comments are my gift. James wanted you to know he wasn't mad about Marco's comment. I gotta put people in their place. People need to understand. And you gotta put them in their place immediately, because otherwise I've seen bullies throughout my life who, when you don't stand up to them, when you don't make sure that they know that what they did was wrong, they grow up learning that that's how to do things and get things that they want. And then they grow up to run the nation. And so, yeah, it's a simple thing. Mark is a loyal follower and enjoys my videos, that he is inspired to make comments, but as we all are brainwashed by the church, and in Mark's case, he's not even a Mormon, but he's been studying Mormonism. And so whether his background is Christian or influence to those who were Christian, or whatever other circumstances he may have grown up in, he's been lied to as well. Our nation does not teach how to teach to learn. And we really need that. Alright. You are not entitled to hate. But yeah, Mark's comment was more directed at the church history of Brigham Young ordering no interracial marriages. And so I put the clip of Nelson to help remind everybody that Nelson is a racist bigot himself. Just because he's the president of the church doesn't mean he's all of a sudden perfect. Prophet of God cannot be a racist and a bigot to run the church. And yet he has, and thus has turned Mormons into such. James has read a lot about Brigham Young, and he was just not a good person in any way. Yeah. To be honest, it upset me more than it did him. That's why he commented. Yeah, if you're going to study Brigham Young, James, you better be prepared. Brigham Young gets very offensive. But that's what the church is working on right now, is the Brigham Young papers. And so yet again, with Joseph Smith papers, they vindicate Joseph Smith, that he had nothing to do with Brigham Young's church. So the Brigham Young papers are going to reinforce that and show Mormons that this is not Joseph's church. But the church won't make any changes. Church will perpetuate the lies, and Mormons will go on believing there's nothing different. No reason to check them. Just got to have the right feeling to stay in the church. I am sorry about your childhood and how it was. Mine was really not good either. Yeah. As the oldest of 3 girls, I didn't get much done for me either once the other 2 came along. It was one of the cutest things I noticed when Clayton was born. Melissa, who was 2 years older than him, I took on a big sister role and was having Clayton follow her all around, telling him what to do. And then one day, Clayton, and he didn't watch Planet of the Apes. Nope, didn't see that movie or any of those movies where they say it. He said no. And Melissa came to us wanting Clayton to obey her. So we had to teach her that if Clayton wants to do something else, it's okay. But I can understand, because I married Stephanie hoping that we could do things together. Nope. So, yep, fun times. And then they're kidnapped from you. You seem sad in this video. Yeah? And I can understand why as I'm listening. And it makes me sad. I make you sad. There are 4 people up this morning. What's up with that, guys? Yeah, the church that stole Christmas. I should have just looked over at the side to where the... Where did I leave off? Being such an amazing person, yeah, you are. I would have thought you would have had a great life. Well, I made it what I wanted it to be. And so I didn't let other people cause me to commit suicide like all Mormons do with their hate comments. Because that's how little kids here in Utah commit suicide, is because the Mormons are just like their parents commenting on YouTube. And so I've learned that other people don't make me be who I am. I make me be who I am. But yeah, there are situations where it triggers a memory response, and so with James Bond, I cry, and parents, yeah, because there's more horror stories I could tell you. You know, such as my mom forgetting to come to my 6th grade graduation, leaving me at school all by myself. Or slamming the car door on my middle finger twice, cracking off the nail completely. That was painful. Falling out of my bed. And then being told to get over it. Because I was on the top bunk. But, I mean, fortunately, it was on my brother's side, because he keeps it clean. False hope is okay. No, it's not. Sorry, I have to disagree with you on this one. When a person finds out that they had a false hope, it's worse than if they had been told the truth from the beginning. People need to tell the truth all the time. Sorry, kids, no Santa Claus, no Jesus, no Easter Bunny, but there's an Easter Beagle, and there's a great pumpkin. but I would rather hear the truth. Yeah. So that's a thing with me, is that the church had made claims, the scriptures were making claims, and they contradicted each other. And so I went in to learn the truth, and then go back onto the scriptures to see what the truth of the scriptures is. And in so doing, I learned the truth about church history, about the scriptures, and I fully support Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon in the learning of the Jews. That's the one thing that both Mormons and critics can't understand about me, because they don't do the study and the research. They hear somebody else say something, they interpret it the way they do, and they conclude, therefore. Read, ponder, pray, get a spiritual witness feeling, whether positive or negative, and they think they know it all, and they're done. That's what the church did. That's the damage the church did. Even when Mormons leave, that's the baggage they carry with them. That Mormon hoe, she's got a lot of baggage, especially as John DeLynne's mistress. Yes, I said it. I saw that thumbnail picture. Don't try to tell me. I've heard about him and his sexual assault accusations. I'd be disappointed then to be lied to and find out later, and it'd even hurt more. Yeah, so you know. So false hope, bad. By the way, you said in the previous video that we can email you for more conversations, and I promise you I will do that. Probably should check that. So somebody's writing to me about a Wikipedia page. I have no idea who they are. And Paul, I don't see James and Jasmine. And Stanford sent me a message on Academia. So got a lot of stuff to catch up on. There's that Wikipedia guy on LinkedIn. He wants to connect. And then Paul. Yep. He's helping me with a project with the Bible. Alrighty. Me personally, I would rather watch and listen to you talk on video. She has a question. Here it is, question. Do you know what day the Christian Jesus was supposed to be born on? It was a decision by a pope that gave that, because nobody knew. Because it didn't happen in the Roman period time. Pope Julius I was the Bishop of Rome from 6 February 337 to his death on 12 April 352. He is notable for asserting the authority of the Pope over the Arian Eastern bishops, as well as setting December 25th as the official birth date of Jesus. Pope Julius I. There's a Wikipedia page on him, as well as a list of papal bulls on Wikipedia too. Probably should get these on PDF. Wow, they got them all nicely set up and organized for us. I need a good full body massage. I have not had one in my life. Well, I put it right there in the first opening sentence for him. So the other night I forced myself to bed at midnight. Still took me a while to get to sleep, which is weird for me because normally once I hit the pillow, my body says, oh, sleep time, okay, and I'm out. And it's usually 5 or 6 hours, but there's some weird things going on lately. Alrighty, where were we? Yeah, they had no clue when he was going to be born. This Bible doesn't say, and so they don't know. And they can't use the Jewish understanding of the date that they gave, because that would destroy their church. Brand new created. So I feel it wasn't the 25th. That is why I say Xmas. Of course it wasn't the 25th. He didn't exist. No. And last one. Most people are probably taking off the week, aren't they? Don't know. On Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints forgets founder Joseph Smith's birthday, Stanford. Hey Travis, much to think about. I'm reading Moses 1 this evening. Many questions and focus on the relationship between works, words, and glory. All my works, all my glory. Glory is the manifestation of completed works. And he puts a question mark. Yes. This is my work and my glory, to bring to pass the eternal life of mankind. The eternal life and exaltation of mankind. Exaltation only comes from, but regardless. Glory is the outcome of the properly planted and nurtured seed. The word, yep. Verse 8. So he's just putting his notations while he's going over Moses 1. Moses was created, seed, egg, baby. and he sees all the children of men, not a Christian vision. Yeah. It just blows my mind how Christians think that Moses gave the 10 Commandments about Jesus. I never understood that as a kid. I just set it aside because now I know the truth. Glory is power to judge correctly. Yep, because you know what the truth is. You've tasted it. You've had the fruit. You've seen the consequences. And so you can tell people, don't put your hand in the fire. You will get burned. And then they'll get angry with you and they'll say, you can't judge me. You can't tell me what to do. I have my free agency. I'm going to do whatever I want. And they're going to put their hand in the fire. Then they're going to get burned. And then they're going to bear their testimony on Sunday about how they know that they shouldn't stick their hand in the fire because they'll get burned. Too many Mormons are up there talking about how the word of wisdom is true because they didn't follow it and had a bad experience from not following it. That's not knowing what the truth is. And glory is the power to judge correctly, discern darkness from light, deceive me not. Full of light and truth, only begotten is never named by God. Yeah, he is. He is. The only begotten, let's see, verse 25, power given to Moses as if he were God. When he shows him his glory, that's the glory of the sun god at noonday. That's his name, Emmanuel. A man like Moses becomes more meaningful now. Amen is man like Moses. I am not the great spirit, but can all things he asks of me. I will raise up another like thee. Yep. Deuteronomy 18, 15 through 19. The Jewish Christ. Travis, can you please teach me about the connection between works and glory? It's the same thing. It's just the works are the completion of the idea that you had in your head or the blueprints that you were working off of, whatever, the word that you were going by. The glory is the exaltation. So like when we die, we go into the spirit world where it's either heaven or hell. We're either a bright spirit or a dark spirit, like on Ghost, the movie. and then the final judgment, as we teach people on our missions. You go to one of the 3 kingdoms of glory. The glory of the sun, glory of the moon, glory of the stars, to try to explain the different brightnesses of glory. That is what is referred to there. We are all finished at the final judgment and in the afterlife. And so it just depends on our level of glory at that point. That's the connection. Words, works, glory, and the nature of glory. Thank you. I have left messages on Academia. Yeah, I saw it. We'll get to it sometime, I hope. I've not had any sleep. I don't know when I'm going to crash. There are some things I need to do this morning before I crash, so we'll see. Thank you. Or let's see. Don't know if you've seen them. Yeah, and I just saw them. So, eventually, hopefully. Alrighty.